say a few things in relation to this amendment in terms of one in which I support, and while obviously the role of the CNAG needs to be respected in terms of its audit function, we here as parliamentarians need to look at how we establish bodies and how we resource those bodies and how we try to enhance the provisions and services that those bodies can and functions that they can provide. And therefore, while there is very clear distinctions in terms of the role of the CNAG and others, I think this is a worthwhile amendment that deserves the support of this House. There has been much debate over the last period in relation to the rising costs of insurance claims. There has been, as the previous speaker talked about, fraudulent claims has got a lot of prominence, and there is no doubt that fraudulent claims are a reality, as Deputy Kelleher described. Chancers and indeed criminals and people who are involved in fraudulent claims shouldn't be just described as and I know this wasn't the intention of a chancer and sure he chances his arm or she chances his arm, that they are the effects of those claims take from others through the increasing of premiums. But there is two other things to say in relation to this. First of all, it would be wrong to suggest or to give the impression that fraudulent claims are rampant and everybody's at it. That's not the case. I've made the point in the motor industry. There's always been a type of thing that people didn't look terribly bad at somebody increasing the cost of a claim. If a car had to be fixed, it wasn't seen as something that was particularly, to be frowned upon. And I think that there's far more awareness being brought to that issue. And I think indeed certain reporters, and I think it's important to signal out the likes of the work of Charlie Weston has done in relation to shining a light at some of the claims and how the courts are now dealing with some of those claims. The other thing is that there's many people out there who simply don't claim. And there's far more people who have legitimate claims for insurance who don't claim because they are afraid that it will increase their motor premiums in the years ahead. Whether that's the fear of losing their no claims bonus because their car was hit, or it's better to go and pay the €1,000 themselves than to lose the no claims bonus because they know that the insurance company has them by the short and curlies, and that's the reality of it. They're at the complete mercy of this cartel that is operating, a cartel that has been raided by the European authorities, and nobody here, unfortunately, is standing up to them in government offices. I've seen it myself when, unfortunately, we had an oil spill in my own home, and the first thing the insurance company said to me when I was making a claim is that you would lose your no claims premium, and tried to dissuade me from actually making a claim to have it out and properly assessed and so on and so forth. And it is a racket. An oil spill in a garden cost €27,000. Completely over to the insurance industry, had to go with their person, so on and so forth, their assessor and all of the rest cost. I built the house for only four times that amount. But that being said, the point I'm making here is that the industry tries to paint as if everybody is trying to scam, but there's far more people that are afraid to claim because they're afraid that their house insurance will go through the roof or that their motor insurance will go through the roof, and the reason that is because of the scales have been tipped in the wrong direction. But those who are involved in dodgy claims should be called out. And I've said it before, Minister, you should have a good word to your own colleague. What Alan Farrell did down in the courts was despicable. And he stood in this House and he has talked about the high cost of insurance, he's talked about the compensation culture, and yet he was caught out red-handed. And there should be, and I've said this for a number of years now, I criticised Owen Murphy when he brought it forward in his recommendation, I criticised Michael Darcy when he brought it forward, and finally it seems that it is now been put to bed as a terrible idea, and that is that the private sector, that private business interests in this state would fund a section of our Garda Síochána. Who in their right mind would ever think that that was an appropriate idea? Never mind to actually consider that the private sector interest here was the sector that was raided by European authorities in a dawn raid for operating cartel-like activities within this state. But that was under active consideration for 2 years. And you know what happened over those 2 years? We lost time. We lost opportunity. As I've said to the Minister, and I say it to you now, what needs to happen is it needs to be made very clear to An Garda Síochána that this government, that this House will provide the resources to An Garda Síochána to set up a fraud insurance squad within the Gardaí, publicly funded, to pursue those who make fraudulent claims. Because nobody ever, no matter who they are, whether they're a TD or whether they're a scammer, should feel confident that they can go into a court with a dodgy claim that is pushing up premiums on other individuals and know that if they get caught out, that they will walk out of the forecourts or the High Court or the Circuit Court and say, well, nothing lost, nothing gained. They need to face the rigours of the law. They need to, and to do that, we need to resource the Gardaí in the manner that it should. So this debate about who should fund it should never have taken place. What we need is a fraud squad initiated and initiated now. The final point I'll make is this, and it was a point I raised with Atisha this morning. A year and a half ago, on a topical issue, I raised the issue of insurance costs on businesses. As Deputy Quinlivan has talked about your failure to address the issue of insurance premiums, the rise of insurance premium businesses. On that day, 18 months ago, I particularly focused in on the agricultural sector and the marts within our state. There is only over 80 of them. They are crucial to how agriculture operates in our state. They are the lifeblood of those rural communities and of that farming sector. It was very clear to me at the time that there was a serious pressure being put on them as a result of increased insurance costs. Now, the Minister stood where you're sitting and he said, I have spoken to Insurance Ireland and they tell me that there has been no increases in insurance premiums in marts across the state. So, and I'm finishing this, so he went to the wolf and asked the wolf, how are you looking after the chickens, dear sir? And they says, well, we're looking after them fine. But that's not the reality, because just last week we've had a mart that is operating in this state for 51 years, providing a service, and the county of Laois has closed down because for the last 4 years consecutively, their premiums have gone up year on year, and they're not on their own. So we need to take action. I've called for action. You're the Minister that should be dealing with this from a business point of view, along with your colleagues in agriculture and finance. And I'm finishing on this point, is that you need to meet with the mart operators, because unless we deal with this and unless we rein in FBD, who have a cartel operating here because they're the only one who insure the sector, then you're going to see more marts closed down. Minister. I'll finish on that point.